All right, one thing that ended up getting cut from my last video that I shouldn't have cut, because it kind of would have completed one of the thoughts I was having. And one of the main takeaways from the video was the short version of the last video was basically, you're not going to find a better built camera than a Micro Four Thirds camera. And if you check any of the YouTube videos where they test durability, that's kind of been proven time and time again. You're not going to find better weather sealing. When it comes to specs and features, again, whereas Canon has the cripple hammer, Nikon has the we've got no money, we can't afford to make a good camera, Fuji has the current syndrome of trying to maximize profits by outsourcing everything to China lately. And it seems like everybody's always removing features or crippling a camera or just not including something because, you know, oh, you don't need it. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen a Sony shooter say that, my God, if they would only put a fully articulating screen in one of these effing Sonys. You don't mess with that when it comes to Panasonic Micro Four Thirds or Olympus. Like, everything they know how to make is shoved into a single camera. You have every single spec and feature imaginable in that camera. Aside from all that, oh, and of course the warranty. A Lumix warranty on a Panasonic camera, for example, is 3 years versus the 1 year warranty on a Canon or Sony or Fuji or anything. But aside from all that, the main point I was talking about, and I was trying to explain and show examples of, was the fact that if you know anything about how cameras work, how physics works, how light works, any of these things, is that the size of the sensor doesn't determine its performance. The total surface area doesn't mean anything. Aside from things like SNR firmware and sensor type like CMOS versus CCD, or whether it's BSI or not, and all these computational aspects, as far as the sensor itself goes, the pixels are what matters. How big is the eyeball? How big is that opening? How big is the thing that's letting the light in? That's what matters. And the point that I was trying to make was that if you look at a Micro Four Thirds camera, like an EM5 Mark II, for example, with 16 megapixels, it has the exact same size, pixel size, and pitch as a 26 megapixel Fujifilm, like APS-C, or a 61 megapixel A7R4, which is full frame, or the GFX 100, or the Phase 1 IQ4. That's Micro Four Thirds, APS-C, full frame, medium format, small, and big medium format, all with the exact same pixel size. So in theory, computational aspects aside, they should be able to perform the exact same way as far as low light abilities, dynamic range, and things like that. And many lab tests have proven that, in fact, they do perform basically the same. The thing that people get hung up on is they will look at an old Micro Four Thirds camera versus a new full frame or medium format, or they'll view it in a very biased, not equal fashion. And one of the things I wanted to cover was, people will talk about, somebody in the comment section had said something about, if you look at the photos on DP Review, the studio scene comparison, or this or that. I'm gonna skip past all that. My experience, not are there lab results and actual numbers and the way that physics works, plus my personal experience having owned many full frame cameras and APS-C cameras and Micro Four Thirds cameras, and I know from real world experience of not having shot these things and then edited these photos in Lightroom and then having prints made from each size sensor. But one of the biggest things people get hung up on is they say, but if I look at the online, at the side-by-side comparisons, they say, well, this full frame sensor, the image from the full frame sensor looks cleaner at, let's just say, 6400 ISO than the Micro Four Thirds. So if they perform just as well and it's all equal, then why does the Micro Four Thirds have more noise? Why does it look like it's not as clean? It's literally just a matter of perspective. It's kind of like with print sizes, viewing distance, things like that. If you have a full frame sensor, right? This represents a full frame sensor. And if you take an image of, let's say, what you're seeing on your screen right now, right? Me, this image, this framing, okay? On this size sensor, and then you want to fill your computer monitor, it doesn't have to stretch very much. It doesn't have to do much in order to fill the monitor. You don't have to zoom in from the original file size very much. So you see a relatively non-enlarged version, whereas the surface area of full frame is 864 square millimeters. The surface area of a Micro Four Thirds sensor is 225 square millimeters. It's almost 1/4 the surface area of a full frame sensor. So in order to have this 1/4 zone fill the screen, it has to be enlarged 400%. So it's just a matter of this one doesn't have to be enlarged as much in Lightroom to fill your computer monitor as this one does. If you were to take a full frame image and then you were to zoom in 400% on just this one corner, it would suddenly look noisier. It would look like it was grainier. It would look lower quality. It's not. The exact same image, the exact same full frame sensor, the exact same pixel pitch and pixel size, the exact same dynamic range, low light performance and everything, except if you're looking at it from a distance back here, zoomed out, you don't see any defects. If you look at it full size, you start to see some defects, and if you zoom into one corner 400% so that one corner fills the frame, suddenly those defects appear amplified. But they're the exact same. They haven't changed, just how close you are, how closely you're looking, that's what the difference is. And that's what a Micro Four Thirds sensor is. It's taking that one corner of the full frame sensor away, and it's saying, well, I'm gonna look at the full frame image back here, but this one, I want it to appear the same, so I'm gonna zoom in 400% so it fills the screen. And then you say, well, the Micro Four Thirds looks worse. Yeah, because you're looking at it 400% closer is in relation to the size of your monitor versus the size of the sensor itself. In real world practice, this doesn't happen. Again, at a pixel to pixel level, the Micro Four Thirds sensor that's 16 megapixels has the exact same pixel size as an A7R4 with 61 megapixels. The pixel size and pitch is the same. The potential performance, ISO, dynamic range, anything else is potentially the same. That comes down to computational aspects. And when you print them, you can't tell a difference. Look at any video on YouTube of people actually comparing prints from a Micro Four Thirds camera to a APS-C or full frame or medium format, and actual experts in the print industry cannot distinguish which camera took what, because on print, where it matters, you don't see the difference. Also, it's worth noting that on that subject, companies like Apple have used photos taken with their iPhone and made billboards with them. So again, as print size increases, so does viewing distance, blah, 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 all the things I said before. I won't harp on it too much, but I just wanted to add that quick note. Why does the Micro Four Thirds appear noisier than the full frame on my computer if at a pixel level, if they perform the same? Because you're zoomed in 400% to fill your screen. The only way that the 1/4 sized sensor can fill your, let's say, 27-inch monitor is to be 400% enlarged compared to a full frame sensor. So you're just viewing a 400% enlarged version in order to fill your same computer screen. That's all it is. Anyway, yesterday was my birthday. Same day, within 5 minutes of waking up, I broke my phone. Awesome day. It's now the weekend. Everybody's off work. I gotta get outside, spend time with the family, heading to the gym later. Gonna start doing my strength training again for the first time in years, which is stuff that'll go on my other YouTube channel. Other than that, thanks for watching. I appreciate the comments and the likes and all those things, and I will catch you later. Bye.